slab all over the United States. You have to wait months to get these, and then when you do, each one of these clay heads is set up to mimic the action that would occur if you were actually shattering the skull. And what would happen subsequent to that would be the release of brain, so nervous tissue, as well as blood. Right? These are packed with blood. Okay? Underneath this plate right here, you can see the blood. Now, this is blood that will act like blood because it is real blood. It's not human, but it is real. Okay? So it will act like it will smell like it, and it will move like it.
Hold on. I've got covered.
Throw my hoodie over your head. You can throw my hoodie over your head. It's round. That would be gross to watch.
Over there. I'm not gonna get like.
Take those safety glasses off. All right, this is a face shield.
But you're not gonna grab this when you kill someone.
I know, it's a little bit funky.
Yeah,
All right, there you go, and then get the cotton down there. This is going to keep you from getting most of it on you. Now, there's some instructions I need to give you. You ready? You don't have any gloves on. We need gloves. Will you pass me a box of smalls or something? I think there's some smalls on the end there. All right. I'm going to make sure that you have gloves on. Pull your sleeves down over your gloves. The most important rule is that Dr. Waits doesn't get dirty. Those big enough for you? You need larger ones? You need larger ones. I finally have a girl that has larger than small hands here. All right. Larger than small.
Well, that's extra large.
Well, it'll work.
All right.
She's going to pull her sleeves down. All right, so we'll put the gloves on and then pull the sleeves down over the edge of the gloves. Me too. You're in good shape. You'll notice Miss Frostow's moved out of the room. This one is all the way at the end of the table. And I will tell you, young lady behind you, see that blood drop? It was a cast doing the same project just the other day. So that should give you an idea. Yeah, Daphne, will you open that front door so the students can come around? All right. Now are you ready? Just about ready. All right, the reason why there are blood splatter heads, they actually have different angles. You'll see that this one over here is at the side, and this one is towards the front. It's because the cranial bones, which this is the frontal bone right here, these are the parietal, right, occipital. The cranial bones are thicker in different locations, right? And so if, not to say how you would do this, but if you were going to beat someone, sometimes the bones are thinner at some angles than they are at others, okay? So what we're going to do today is we're going to try two things. First thing is this is an evenly weighted stick. Okay, this is an evenly weighted stick. And I want you to hit right about here where this black dot is. Okay, this is where your packet of blood is. Right? I want you to hit there about 4 times. As hard as you possibly can. Okay, when you're done, I want you to stop those after those 4 times and we'll see what happens. Good luck. All right. You're going to hit that blood packet right there by that black dot.
Everybody's like moving. She said.
Now, she actually made marks on the clay. And these are supposed to be cold so that they mimic what the bone would do. So, you beat on that person, but you didn't break their bones. Now, this is an instrument that is weighted. Alright? The difference between this one and this one is this is evenly weighted all the way across. And this one is weighted on one end. Alright? It also has edges to that one end. Now, I'm going to want you to hit right here at that black dot, or on either side of it, as hard as you can. Okay? We'll see how you do after 4 times. You might have to do it 10. It just depends on the strength. Wait for me, wait for me, wait for me, wait for me. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. Oh. right-handed? Okay, step over here. You've already made a great mess. All right, step over here with one hand. Okay, your left hand, that's your dominant hand, correct? And hit that head right here on the black dot. Don't knock him all over the place. One hand.
One hand.
One hand.
One hand.
You're not swinging the baseball bat.
Right there. You ready?
I'm ready. You're in my way, so it's all good.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen before, but
That is great.
but here's the deal. Okay.
Did you take this? Braids.
All right.
Brain too.
Yummy.
All right. Here's the deal.
It looks
If I
black.
take any- oh, wait. First thing.
Girls, listen.
Okay, so first thing, we're looking at what's the blowback. We're looking at the blowback. We got it all the way up the face shield. Got it all the way around the neck. It's all over both arms. It's down one leg. It's all over the swinging arm. All right. We got it all the way up the sleeve. You're not going to come out of this type of committing this crime, this type of crime, right, without some blood on you. It's not going to happen. Okay. And then you got evidence when you get rid of it at that point. But here's the other deal as he slowly bleeds. You took a weighted instrument, and even though you knocked his head off twice, you made massive indentations in his skull. Well, welcome to forensic anthropology, because the next person you're going to see is somebody like Dr. Berriman, who's at Middle Tennessee State University, and he's going to go, that's a hammer. It's probably a Stanley of this particular size and shape, because he'll be able to tell you what instrument actually cracked that skull by doing skull reconstruction. Right? Now, you busted it here, 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 and here, and here when I think it hit the floor. Right? But you got a lot of splatter. It's essentially low, some medium velocity splatter. It's all over my chair. All right. Believe it or not, it's okay. It happens every time. All right. You'd be amazed how good they are cleaning this ring. So here's the deal. Okay? A weighted instrument with an edge made a much stronger impression because the weight gives force to the movement, right, and force to your committed beating of this individual in the head.
Still dripping brains.
Okay?
He's dripping everywhere.
And he's still dripping. That's okay.
His brain was deep.
Got a little bit on. Oh, didn't even get towards the refrigerator. That's awesome. Okay. Now I've got one more person.
Someone laying down.
You're good. You can de-suit, throw everything in the trash can at the end by every door.
Good job.
They'll learn to get their angle when they
Yeah.
they get to college, marriage, and all this.
Yeah. She pushed it and look.
No, that she just has to make sure it's not. It's nothing. He's smiling.
Okay, now remember what I
course you
said
can.
before. There's a difference between the thickness of the bones, and that each one of these skulls, each one of these skulls represents the appropriate thickness of the bones in the skull. Now let's say you decided you were going to take somebody out and they came in the door and you had your baseball bat or your broom or whatever you're taking them out with. All right. And you're going to attack them from the side. Just give me sure you don't want holes in place. There we go. Okay. So you're going to hit them right here where this black dot is. All right. We talked about this was the frontal, this is the occipital, and this is parietal bone. Right here, where your ear is, and below, so right here. Okay. This is a temporal bone. All right. And one of the things that we know about the temple is that this particular bone has a tendency to be thinner than the others. Okay. So instead of using the hammer, all right, I want you to take this guy, and I want you to beat right here on the dot and underneath it with this bat. I'll
Doesn't
tell
she
you when
need
gloves.
gloves? Gloves.
Oh, no gloves. Gosh, I don't think about that.
Pants
And
with
maybe
the
a
gloves.
face mask.
What size hands you got? I got large. Yeah, you might have small hands. We're going to go large. And then just cover the edges.
I'm not going to give her your face mask.
Very good. Young lady in the outfit, unsuit, and put your suit in the trash can. Again. Sort it. All right. Our lab helpers. We got them off. She's about ready to go. We're going to change this up for the next team.
Yeah, we got the front up already.
All right. So we're going to bring these down. Cover up those gloves a little bit.
Me and
All right,
you.
so you're right-handed? I'm actually left-handed. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. All right? Whack. Right here and right here. Right underneath this dot, right underneath that dot. Okay? Now this is an evenly weighted instrument. Nope. Oh, yeah, I'm out of room.
Wow! She got anger management issues.
I'm like so afraid of her now. She's like in my class.
So now, that works perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. One thing, we got a lot of cast off, okay, on our sheet, which is kind of cool. Right? But we actually shattered the skull bones. That's the way it should happen. This is the thinner part of the skull. You shouldn't need to use a weighted instrument on the side of the head. It should come apart. Now, think about baseball players. Pitchers that throw a pitch at 120 miles an hour with a hard ball. Why do you think they wear those helmets that cover all of their ear, except the little hole to hear with, and all of the side and the front of their head? It's because if they got hit on the side of the head with that hard ball, it would bust their skull. They could die. They have died in the past. And that's why those safety pieces of equipment are out there. And it's all about how your head is put together. Okay? Nice job. Great splatter. It's everywhere. Okay. So again, if we look at her, obviously, she didn't have to work too hard. She didn't have to think about it too hard. All right. And sure enough, she's covered all the way up her feet, her legs, both hands. She's got stuff all over the place. My goodness, what a mess. All right, you make D-suit, ma'am. D-suit up front with Miss Marina up there.